there's a moment every woman wants to own. That moment where he looks at you with that mix of admiration and desire, like he's completely under your spell. But here's the truth that no one talks about. 98% of women are unknowingly ruining that moment. They're making 3 tiny mistakes that take what could be an unforgettable, electric connection and turn it into something ordinary. And it's not because they don't care. It's because they've been taught to perform instead of connect. See, most women go into intimacy thinking they have to do it right. They start worrying, am I doing enough? Does he like this? Am I being sexy enough? But when you do that, you step out of your body and into your head, and that's where the magic dies. Because real intimacy isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. It's about the way you breathe, the way you look at him, the confidence that says, I'm not here to impress you, I'm here to connect with you. And that's where almost every woman gets it wrong. They focus on technique when what truly drives a man wild is your energy, the rhythm of your presence, the calm confidence that tells him, I know who I am and I'm enjoying this just as much as you are. That's the part men remember, not what you did, but how you made them feel. So in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes women make, the ones that kill connection without them even realizing it. And more importantly, I'll show you how to fix them, how to step into your feminine power, build tension effortlessly, and make every moment feel alive. Because when you understand this, you'll never have to try to be sexy again. You'll simply be. Here's the first mistake, and it's the one that quietly ruins more moments than anything else. Trying too hard to impress instead of connect. Most women don't even realize they're doing it. It starts from a good place, the desire to please, to make him happy, to create an unforgettable moment. But what happens is this: the more you try to perform, the more you disconnect from yourself. And when you disconnect from yourself, you lose the very energy that made him drawn to you in the first place. You see, men might not always understand emotions the way women do, but they feel energy deeply. A man can tell when a woman is in her head. He can sense when she's trying to impress him instead of feeling the moment. And the second that happens, something shifts. The chemistry drops. The spark fades. Because what's meant to be real starts to feel rehearsed. Think of it this way. Have you ever been around someone who is trying too hard to be funny? They laugh a little too loud, say things just to get a reaction, and instead of being drawn to them, you feel slightly uncomfortable. That's exactly what happens in intimacy when a woman focuses on performance instead of connection. It feels forced, and both people end up missing the magic of what could have been a real emotional exchange. True sensuality doesn't come from how much effort you put in. It comes from how much presence you allow. When you're genuinely present, you stop worrying about how you look, what he's thinking, or whether you're doing it right. You start tuning into the rhythm of the moment, the way he breathes, the small sounds, the closeness, the emotion that's building naturally between you. That's where real chemistry happens. A confident woman doesn't rush. She doesn't perform. She feels. She's comfortable with silence, with slow moments, with letting things unfold without needing to control them. Because she knows that connection isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity. And here's the secret. When a man feels that energy from you, that calm confidence that says, I'm not trying to win you over, I'm simply here enjoying this with you, he relaxes too. He lets his guard down. He stops overthinking. Suddenly, it's not 2 people trying to please each other. It's 2 energies merging naturally. That's what creates deep, unforgettable connection. When a woman focuses too much on pleasing him, she unknowingly sends a subtle message. My pleasure isn't as important as yours. But when she shifts that energy, when she allows herself to enjoy, to be present, to slow down, she becomes magnetic. Because nothing is more attractive to a man than a woman who is clearly enjoying herself. And this goes far beyond physical connection. It's a mindset in dating, in relationships, in life. If you spend your energy constantly trying to impress someone, you'll always feel anxious. You'll always feel like you have to keep performing to be worthy of love. But when you start showing up authentically, relaxed, grounded, confident in your energy, you create space for real connection, because now you're not performing for him, you're connecting with him. Think about the kind of woman who lingers in your mind long after the moment is over. She's not the one who did everything perfectly. She's the one who made you feel something. She wasn't rushing. She wasn't overthinking. She was just present. That's what makes her unforgettable. And present starts with awareness. So next time you find yourself overanalyzing, does he like this? Am I doing enough? Should I do more? Pause, breathe, come back to the moment. Feel the energy instead of controlling it. Notice the way his eyes move, his breathing slows, his shoulders relax. Mirror that. Match his rhythm. It's not about doing more. It's about feeling deeper. Confidence doesn't mean being loud or bold. It's often quiet. It's the kind of confidence that says, I don't need to prove myself. I know my worth. When you carry that energy, you change the entire atmosphere. He senses that he's with someone who's not trying to perform. She's just being herself, and that's more powerful than any technique in the world. And here's something most women don't realize: men don't fall in love with a move. They fall in love with moments. Moments where they felt emotionally safe, desired, appreciated, moments where they felt something real. And that happens when you are connected to yourself. So what can you do differently starting today? Slow down. Shift your focus from doing to feeling. From, am I impressing him? To, am I connected right now? That tiny mental shift changes everything. It makes your touch softer, your voice calmer, your energy grounded. It tells him, I'm not here to win your approval. I'm here to enjoy this connection with you. And that's what men remember. When you stop trying to impress, you create space for authenticity. And authenticity is the most seductive thing in the world. Because when a woman is relaxed and confident, she becomes magnetic without even trying. She's not rushing to please. She's not overthinking. She's allowing herself to be seen. And that right there is what men crave most, not performance, but presence, not perfection, but connection. So stop performing, start feeling. Because when you drop the act, you'll realize you were already enough. You didn't need to impress him. You only needed to let him experience you, the real, unfiltered, feminine, powerful you. That's the version of you he'll never forget. The second mistake that almost every woman makes is believing that the intimacy begins when the lights go down. It doesn't. Real intimacy begins long before a single touch ever happens. It begins with what I call emotional foreplay, and ignoring it is what keeps so many women from creating the kind of deep, magnetic connection they secretly crave. Most people think of foreplay as physical, but emotional foreplay is about energy. It's about the tiny invisible cues that build anticipation long before things turn physical. It's the way you look at him when you say goodbye, the way your tone softens when you call his name, the playful text that makes him smile at his phone in the middle of a busy day. These little things are not trivial. They're the invisible threads that pull two people closer. Men may not talk about it openly, but they crave this emotional charge just as much as women do. They want to feel desired, admired, and seen not only as lovers, but as men. When you ignore emotional foreplay, you take away the build-up that makes everything feel alive. You skip straight to the movie's climax without letting the story breathe. And the truth is, without that slow build, the story never hits the heart. Think about a romantic movie that made you feel something. It wasn't the final kiss that gave you butterflies. It was the tension that led up to it. The looks, the pauses, the almost moments. That's emotional foreplay. It's the art of creating desire through connection, not through speed. When you rush past that, you rob both of you of the best part, the anticipation. And anticipation is the heartbeat of attraction. So how do you practice emotional foreplay in real life? It starts with awareness. Every conversation, every glance, every moment together is an opportunity to build connection. Compliment him in a way that goes beyond appearance. Instead of saying, you look good, say, I love how calm you are when things get stressful. That kind of compliment doesn't just feed his ego, it reaches his soul. It tells him you notice who he is, not just what he looks like. Touch him casually when you talk. A hand on his arm, a playful push when you tease him, a light graze that lingers just a second too long. These gestures communicate warmth, playfulness, and confidence, all without a single explicit word. But here's where many women miss the mark. They see emotional foreplay as something to do rather than something to feel. They think, okay, let me send a flirty message. Let me compliment him like they're ticking boxes. But emotional foreplay isn't a checklist, it's an energy. It's you genuinely enjoying the connection. The more you feel it, the more he feels it. That's the secret most people don't know. When you're relaxed, playful and connected to your own feminine energy, your words and actions naturally carry that charge. You don't have to force it. You become magnetic because you're radiating comfort and confidence. Men can sense when a woman is emotionally present. It's intoxicating to them. It tells them they don't have to chase approval. They can just enjoy the moment with you. And in that relaxed space, desire grows naturally. Now, here's another truth that might surprise you. Emotional foreplay isn't just about him. It's also about you. It's about setting the emotional tone for yourself. When you build that connection slowly, when you let yourself be playful, when you allow the build up, you're teaching your body and your mind to be present, not pressured. You're reminding yourself that intimacy isn't a race to a finish line. It's an experience to be felt. So many women move so fast because they're afraid of losing the moment. They think, if I don't give him what he wants now, he'll lose interest. But that fear destroys what could have been the most powerful kind of intimacy, the emotional one, because men don't fall for what happens quickly. They fall for what happens deeply. Take your time, send that lingering glance. Let silence sit for a moment longer than usual. Be mysterious, let him lean in, curious about what you're thinking. That's the art of emotional foreplay, making him feel connected without giving everything away. And remember, emotional foreplay isn't limited to words or looks. It's also about emotional safety. When a man feels safe to be himself around you, when he knows he can open up, be goofy, vulnerable, or imperfect, he bonds on a level he rarely experiences. And once that bond forms, the physical connection that follows feels 100 times more powerful. Women who master this understand something simple but profound. It's not what you do that matters most. It's how you make him feel. And when he feels emotionally desired, seen, and relaxed, his attraction for you multiplies. So if you've been skipping emotional foreplay because you think it's unnecessary or too subtle, think again. Those moments are the difference between an experience that's forgettable and one that lingers in his mind for days. When you're sitting across from him at dinner, play with your tone. Lower your voice just slightly when you say something kind. Smile in a way that's soft, not forced. Let your eyes stay on his a little longer. These tiny choices speak louder than any grand gesture. They whisper, I'm here, I'm present, I'm enjoying this. That's what makes him leaning in. That's what keeps him thinking about you long after you've said goodnight. And here's the beauty of it. The more you practice emotional foreplay, the more confident you become in your own energy. You realize you don't have to try to be sexy. You just have to be intentional. You start carrying yourself differently, slower, calmer, more self-assured, because you're in tune with yourself. In that state, you're not chasing connection. You're creating it. You're not performing. You're radiating. You're not hoping he'll want you. You're inviting him to meet you at your level. That's what emotional foreplay is all about. Cultivating the emotional current that runs beneath everything else. It's subtle, but it's the most powerful form of seduction there is. So don't rush. Don't skip the build up, because when you master emotional foreplay, every glance, every word, every silence becomes charged with meaning. And that's when you stop being another woman he's with and become the woman he can't stop thinking about. Now, this last mistake might just be the most important one, and the one most women never even realize they're making. It's the mistake of forgetting about your own pleasure. Let's be real, women are often taught to please, to nurture, to take care of everyone else first. And that conditioning doesn't just show up in life, it shows up in intimacy too. You start thinking that your value in those moments comes from how well you please him. You focus on his reactions, his satisfaction, his comfort. You watch his face, listen for approval, and in doing so, you disconnect from yourself. And here's the irony: when you do that, when you forget your own pleasure, you take away the one thing that makes you truly magnetic, because nothing, and I mean nothing, is more captivating to a man than a woman who is clearly, unapologetically enjoying herself. Pleasure is energy, it's presence, it's confidence. When you're tuned into your own body, when you're allowing yourself to feel good, you radiate something that no amount of effort or performance can replicate. It's the difference between acting sensual and being sensual. Men feel that difference instantly. They can sense whether you're performing to please or you're genuinely in it. And believe me, the energy of a woman who's present, relaxed, and enjoying herself, that's the kind of energy that makes a man lose track of time. But let's break down why so many women struggle with this. Part of it comes from the pressure to be good enough. Somewhere along the way, society taught women that being desirable means being selfless, that the mark of a great partner is how much you give, not how much you receive. But real intimacy, the kind that bonds people deeply, is about exchange, not sacrifice. It's not a performance, it's a connection between two people both allowing themselves to be seen and felt. When you focus entirely on him, you unconsciously send a message, my pleasure doesn't matter. And over time, that energy makes the connection feel one-sided, not because he doesn't care, but because you've stopped showing him what you need. Men aren't mind readers. They want to please you. They just often don't know how, because you've stopped letting them see your joy. When a man senses that you're disconnected, he becomes uncertain. He starts to overthink. The moment becomes less natural, more mechanical. The magic fades. But when you allow yourself to enjoy, when you let your reactions be honest, a breath, a sigh, a smile, that authenticity draws him, and deeper it tells him, I'm here, I'm with you, I'm feeling this too. That's what every man craves. Not perfection, but genuine connection. And here's the beauty of it: when you start prioritizing your pleasure, everything changes. You stop seeking approval and start following your own rhythm. You begin to slow down naturally. You become more intuitive, more playful, more confident, because you're not chasing validation, you're creating experience. Your energy becomes contagious. He feels your enjoyment, your confidence, your calm, and it makes him more relaxed, more open, more present. Your pleasure becomes his pleasure, not because you forced it, but because you invited it. This is what true feminine power looks like. It's not about control, it's about surrender, but not the kind of surrender that gives your power away. It's the kind that says, I trust myself enough to be here in this moment without fear, without pretending. There's something incredibly attractive about a woman who's unapologetically in tune with her body and emotions. She doesn't overanalyze or rush. She allows herself to experience pleasure without guilt. She's not performing, she's expressing. And that expression, that raw authenticity, is what makes her unforgettable. So how do you bring this energy into your relationships? It starts with awareness. Notice when you're in your head, worrying about how you look, how you sound, or what he's thinking. When you catch yourself doing that, pause. Take a slow breath. Ground yourself back in your body. Feel the moment instead of judging it. Let go of the need to be perfect. You don't need to be good. You just need to be real. The truth is, men don't remember perfection. They remember emotion. They remember the way you made them feel and the way you were feeling while you were with them. That's the imprint that lingers long after the moment is over. A woman who forgets her own pleasure becomes invisible, but a woman who embraces it becomes unforgettable. And this isn't just about intimacy, it's about how you show up in life. When you start valuing your own joy, you stop settling for situations that drain you. You start attracting people who match your energy instead of people who take it. You move differently. You speak differently. You become the kind of woman who doesn't chase, she chooses. And when a man experiences that version of you, something shifts in him too. He's drawn in not because of what you're doing for him, but because of how you make him feel about himself when he's around you. Your confidence gives him permission to be more vulnerable, more genuine, more connected. That's the power of feminine energy when it's rooted in self-awareness and self-pleasure. It's not selfish, it's magnetic, it's healing. So the next time you find yourself focused on what he wants or how to please him, ask yourself this simple question: am I enjoying this? If the answer is no, slow down. Adjust, reconnect with yourself, because when you feel good, the entire experience transforms. A man doesn't fall for a woman who tries to be perfect for him. He falls for the woman who's at ease with herself, the woman who isn't afraid to express, to enjoy, to let go. That kind of energy is rare. It's captivating. It's the energy that makes you unforgettable. So stop seeing pleasure as something you earn by being good enough. It's not a reward, it's a right. You deserve to enjoy as much as you give, because when you do, you don't just elevate the connection, you elevate yourself. And when you show up that way, fully present, fully feeling, fully alive, you stop being just another woman in his life and become the one he'll never stop thinking about. All right, ladies, let's wrap this up with something powerful, because this isn't just about pleasing him. It's about reclaiming your own confidence, your own power, and your own sense of control and intimacy. What we've talked about today, those 3 mistakes, they're not just physical slip-ups. They're emotional misunderstandings. They come from this deep desire to be liked, to be enough, to be the woman he never forgets. But here's the truth. The woman he never forgets isn't the one who does everything perfectly. She's the one who brings presence, confidence, and emotional connection into every moment. When you stop performing and start connecting, everything changes. He feels you, he sees you, and you stop feeling like you're chasing validation. Instead, you become the validation, you become the experience, you become that unforgettable energy that stays in his mind long after the lights go out. So I want you to take this as your reminder. The goal isn't to do more or be better in bed. The goal is to understand the language of desire, the kind that doesn't come from pressure, but from presence. Next time you're with him, don't think about what to do next. Think about what to feel next. Let that guide you. If this message hit you deep, take a second right now, hit that like button, because it tells me you want more real talk like this. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because we're just getting started, and drop a comment below. Which one of the 3 mistakes do you think women make most often, and which one are you ready to never make again? Remember, ladies, confidence isn't about knowing everything. It's about owning the energy you bring into the moment. Stop giving the power away and start being the moment he'll never forget.